In this week's episode of Live Trading Tips, it is a screen record, so stay tuned.
What's up guys, it's Flash. Welcome to another episode of Live Trading Tips. I just kind of wanted to cover two different stocks in today's episode. One is PXS. It is a low float runner. It has ran before. Now the reason why I'm covering it is because when I was looking at it today, I seen it very late, but I did really like the daily chart, and then the pattern became clear to me, so I wanted to make this video just to show you quickly on the daily chart. So as you can see here, now it's obviously midday, so it's kind of hard to tend to ignore the candles, but this is what you'd be looking at on a daily. Okay, it was holding the support there at 2, but we can see it needs to break a resistance there at 221, and we can see this based on a smaller time frame, which I will get to in just a second. And we can see the resistance here around 265 to 270 area. We can see it's quite a big resistance here as well. Now when this did start to pop, I'm going to switch it back to the 2. I just wanted to kind of show you the importance of keeping an eye on the daily. So when it opened up here, it just kind of started to flag out a little bit, made a little pennant, which to a lot of people wouldn't really have a lot of interest in this action. Neither would I, because the volume was so low. But you can't really ignore the pattern when it starts to happen. It's making lower highs, but it's also making higher lows. And probably if I put the bottom trend line on it, you might see it a little bit more clearer what I'm talking about. So it is making a rising kind of wedge pattern, but when it broke this, you were looking for the break of 221, and that's what we seen back when I switched to the daily chart. It looked really well down here at the 2s, but the 2 break at 221 was the break at a 9 EMA, which was a really nice entry. But on this one, it would have been also perfect. If you were lucky enough to get in at the 2, right down here to the 2 support, well, you're in the money straight away. But if you wanted to see the pattern play out, and you were watching this price action go on, you would have been entering here at the break of this pattern of 221. Now remember, we said there was a resistance on the daily. You would have had a resistance here at 250, a mental resistance, regardless of it wasn't on a daily chart, but you would have had the mental resistance here. Now looking throughout the day, it did test that resistance as a support, but that would have been your first kind of resistance there, 250. But the big resistance that we were talking about was the 267. Now it just breezed straight through that, so it was no issue. But 250 would have been your kind of first proper resistance. You would have had a little flag out here, hit some resistance here. We're looking at the doji candle upside down, so it's telling me there was some resistance here, struggling around the 230. It would have been nice to offload some shares here into the push at 250, offload more shares here, and then when it broke that support, I would have been offloading shares into this resistance, but as it broke straight through it, I certainly would have been offloading shares here. This did get close to $3, it hit 296 a high, but what it's shown here is it's turned completely bearish now, because that resistance of 267 was used for support numerous times here for a good 6-8 minutes. It was used for support. When it broke it, then it was struggling, it used it again, acted as resistance, turned to support here again. So your entry on this here wouldn't be till it breaks through that resistance again, not unless you got in at quite a low support somewhere for the ride up to that entry break. That would be really nice too. But just that pattern and PXS that we just wanted to cover the daily chart on it, and flicking to, regardless, the daily chart is equally as important as the intraday charts. The intraday chart looks absolutely shit until that pattern started to form, and what we're kind of seeing here was we did see an increase of volume, which I'm going to try to pull up here, but it seems to always be slow every time I record my screen. So we did get that increase of volume down here, That's a huge indication the break of the pattern is happening, and that's what we've seen. We got a break of pattern. That volume absolutely crushed it, and this is a huge move. I mean, that's a serious gain if you're in this. But it's not looking so bad now, but we would like to see it over the 270 area to confirm an uptrend as well. I do want you to keep an eye on this as well. Let me probably switch it to a 5. We might see a little bit more clear on the... Yeah, it's holding the support there just over 250, as you can see. It held that numerous times. But it's still looking quite nice. But just keep an eye on that one. So guys, this is the other ticker that I traded today. It was eYEG. I believe the float was around 39 million. Now the stock bot I use isn't 100% accurate, so that float could be off. So don't kind of quote me on it, but to my understanding I went off a float of about 39 million. I don't normally like trading. I never usually trade stocks below $1. That's usually my rule. I never usually trade them. The only reason being is because personally I get confused by setting stop losses or anything, because the multiple numbers you have to put in, so it'd be like 0.5771. so usually I don't like that, so usually I stick to stocks at least over $1 or $2. But anyway, in this case I did like it. I liked the patterns it was making. It was getting a lot of talk. There was some news out about it, and the float wasn't super small, but it wasn't so bad. But I did like the pattern. Let me just check it on the daily to give you a quick idea here. So yeah, it got a huge gap up, so that's where it kind of was getting my attention. Now, but here we are watching. Okay, so as it opened, doji candle down, not looking good. Again, getting pushed down by the bears, but it did start to make a pennant. So that's kind of what I was kind of looking out for. Was it going to make a pattern? And it was making kind of a descending triangle, so I paid attention to it here. Now you can see there's a clear support here around 43 to 40 cent. So I actually got in here where the first triangle is. I got in here about 44 cent. Now the reason why I jumped in here is because it was holding the support. I didn't wait for the full break. I got in this early because, as I said, it was right on the support, so I got in. And it's actually my risk to reward for this one. I was given 4 cent risk on this particular trade. So I got in here at 44 cent. Again, it was kind of looking a little bit nervous here when the price action started to get a bit shitty here. But anyway, it did try break the first flag. If you did have trend lines for the first one, this is what your trend would have looked like at the break of the first trend down. It did get, as I said, got rejected here, right on resistance of the pre-market. Okay, so we were struggling under the 50 cent, which we knew would happen, especially on this low ticker. It was expected that 50 cent is crucial for this ticker. But anyways, so I was in this at around 44 cent. So it kind of got rejected, pulled back, hit a low of 43. Again, to me, this is where I knew the trade was going to work. Again, you don't know anything in the stock market, but this is where I felt a little bit more confident. Again, on my other screens, when I have pulled up, I'm watching the 5 minute, I'm watching the daily, and it was looking nice on the 5 minute. But it didn't make a lower as the previous low. It was actually a higher low, so that to me was telling me that the bears are fighting, the bulls are fighting back here. So it made a lower high than the previous one, so that's what I was liking. Again, on the 5 minute, it was looking super nice too. So as it broke here through the push, we got huge volume and it surged straight up. I sold into that push. Again, I was trying to off sell half my position, but I actually accidentally hit the wrong hotkey and I sold my full position here. I got out right at 54 cent, which I was quite lucky to. 54 or 53, I can't exactly remember, but it was right here at the top. For that 2 minutes, it was a perfect sell. But then I realised it was a bad sell, an early sell. As you see, the stock ran up, and then when it pulled back, it continued to kind of hold the 250, which that we were looking for earlier on. It continued to hold that. So to me, I probably should have held this to test pre-market high. That was the original plan. But as I said, I wanted to offload some shares, get some money in the bank, and try sell quarter or half position there, but accidentally hit the wrong button, so I sold all of it. So it was kind of a mistake on my end, but green is green, so it wasn't so bad. Just a little shy under 10 cent here was gained. I was risking 4 cent. It's not an ideal risk to reward ratio, but at least it's not 1-to-1, so I can kind of, it's good to go back over your own trades to see what mistakes you made, whether it be on patterns, entries, exits, and your risk to reward. So it wasn't a 1-to-1, but it wasn't an ideal risk to reward ratio at the same time. Now if I held it, it certainly was a really nice risk to reward ratio, but hey, that was it. So I just kind of wanted to recap over the trades today and some of the patterns that I hoped you capitalized on. Okay guys, that's it for another episode. I want to thank you again for your support. If you haven't already, don't forget to click like and subscribe, and as always, God bless, and I'll see you next week.
So guys, I really hope you enjoyed the video. I have prepared a full A to Z module on how to get started in the stock market. It is in the description below. It is based for beginners on how exactly to start from the very start to the finish and what I would recommend along your journey. It is absolutely free, so go check out the link, and God bless.